In this video we will demonstrate the dashboard, the tray starts, plants and garden in more detail, and the harvest date pages. By default, when you log into your system, you're on your dashboard. And in our system, we have now set up 10 gardens. And you'll notice that on this page, we have 2 reports that now are visible. They are visible by default once you start adding data. And over here, I'm going to show you the gardens report. You'll notice we have 1 garden of radish, which is 10% of our farm. We have 1 chard garden and 1 beet garden. So we have 3 gardens that have been planted into the system, and you'll notice 7 gardens unplanted. Here we're going to show you the current trays by days. So we have arugula plants that are in trays or flats, and they've been there for 16 days. And we also have trays of green onions that we're preparing to plant in into our gardens. Next step I will show you is I'm going to click on Tray Starts. And today our farm needs to prepare some gardens for kale. So we're going to come to the plant name, we're going to select kale, and we plant 3 trays in a garden, and in each tray we have 200 seeds. So what we do here is we calculate 3 times 200. It will be 600 seeds that we use for this garden. And we're going to do the plant date of today. And I will hit add. And when I hit add, you'll notice when this page reloads that the existing arugula and green onion from the dashboard report are already on this list. And from here we have arugula that we started 16 days ago, and we're ready to plant these into the garden 10. So to do that, we come over to this drop down, plant and garden, select 10, and today is the day we planted them. Then I hit save. When I hit save, it removes the arugula from the tray starts page. So now when I go back to the dashboard, you'll notice the arugula is gone, and now I have green onions and the kale on the report that I planted today. The next page we'll go to is the plants and garden. This is the list of all your plants that are in the garden currently. They all have a plant date. The plant date is the day you planted the crop into your garden. In a previous video, we planted beets and chard. Recently, we also have radish that have been planted, and you'll notice this is where the arugula that we just planted into garden 10. So we have 4 plants in gardens. So let me go back to your dashboard again, and you'll notice we had 7 open gardens, now we have 6. Today we actually are also going to harvest radish, and I'm going to click on the harvest date link. And here are a list of all of your crops in the ground in a garden that have not yet been harvested. So when we finish harvesting our radishes, we're going to come to this harvest date drop down. We click the text field, we select the harvest date, which is today, and we hit click the save button, and you'll notice that the radish disappears. Now the only plants left on your harvest date list are crops that have not been harvested. When I come to end garden, you'll notice that the same group of plants are here. The end of garden concept is when you have completely finished the garden, you're going to prepare it for a new crop, or you're going to end it completely, you would give it an end date. But in this example, we don't have a garden that we're going to end. So this is the basic way that we track your crops in the system. These are very simple steps that will track a history of every plant, every seed, every garden that you have at your farm. And you can now build a history of what you've planted in the past based on dates, and you'll know how long a certain crop was in the ground before it was harvested, And you'll know how long certain crops lasted in the ground from plant date to end date. And all this data we'll show you in other videos of how you can use this data to your benefit.